Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Main the Outspoken. Hope everybody's doing well out there. And we're back once again with another video about our favorite pirate survival game, Atlas. So, interesting enough, there's numerous new Atlas servers popping up. They're all unofficial servers. So these are not, official servers by the game developers, but these are unofficial servers. And one that has come onto my radar in the last 24 hours is this one. It's going to be called New Atlas. And from what I understand, this seems to be very, very much a PvP-centric server. So if you're a PvE player, this is probably not for you. This is definitely going to be tailored to those die-hard Atlas PvPers out there. They did post a video, and I'm going to play some of that here on this video and kind of give my thoughts about it. You can find this on YouTube under New Atlas is the name of their channel. And I will link in the description as well a link to their Discord server. So if you want to check this one out, feel free to do so. As of right now, this one looks like it's launching December 14th. Alright. So let's play this video, and I'll kind of give some thoughts about it.
Hello everyone. With New Atlas releasing in December, we believe it is time for an info and preview video. The start date for Season 1 is the 14th of December, sometime during the early evening for European players, which is midday for Americans. With this server, we seek to deliver a ship PvP feel that leans on earlier seasons, as well as a land PvP meta that promotes fights rather than shuts them down due to lacking balance. Additionally, a lot of our focus is on reducing lag and decreasing the amount of time the chores of this game consume.
So again, just to kind of recap on what he just said there, they want it to be a PvP-centric server, focusing on ship combat and land combat, and they've taken steps to introduce new mods that should help reduce with lag and also help with the daily chores of Atlas. So we'll see how that all works out.
I am now going to give you an overview of the changes that we have made in order to achieve these things. The list is not conclusive, and you may use the timestamps below to navigate to any sections that may interest you. We've removed the modular ships, and we've adjusted the turn rate of legacy ships to be more like the turn rate during earlier seasons.
So, as with most of these unofficial servers, they have removed the modular ships, so you'll only have access to the traditional legacy ships of Atlas, the sloop, the schooner, the brig, and the galleon. And then he's also mentioning here that they've gone back to like the early seasons of Atlas as far as the turning speed of the boats. So you'll notice here in this video, this galleon is turning quite slow, which is something a lot of people had asked for.
Farming tiles now only spawn ships of the damned level 40 and higher. Additionally, they only spawn galleons.
So that's a big change right there. So what they called the farming grids, probably like Golden Age type of thing or whatnot, only are going to spawn galleons, and they're all going to be over level 40. So that's going to be a big change.
Ship of the Damned loot tables have been reworked to only include things relevant to PvP in their loot tables. Additionally, they are weighed to make handling sales a little bit more common than other kinds of sales. The Ship of the Damned spawning density in farming tiles has also been increased. To make farming a little bit more bearable, especially when alone, we have added a Grapple Cannon that snaps into the hangar slots of your boats and collects flotsam for you. The Grapple Cannon has 300 slots and will collect until it's full.
So that's pretty interesting and kind of a nice quality of life thing, is that grapple hook cannon he just mentioned. So as you drive around in your boat, you can scoop flotsam boxes while being solo, and you won't have to come off the wheel, and throw your grapple hook and all that. You'll have an actual structure on your boat that can grab the flotsam boxes for you. So that's pretty cool. I do like that a lot. He also mentioned that the loot tables have been adjusted to only include items that they feel are relevant to PvP.
Furthermore, the scuttle option for ships was removed and owners must anchor to demolish decks. Additionally, demolishing blueprinted parts of ships, sunken or not, has a 30% chance to recover the item. We did this in order to reward players for sinking blueprinted ships, and we hope that this turns ship fighting into something that has a potential to cause a gain for the winning faction.
Now that is huge. I'm a big fan of that, what he just said. So basically what he's saying is you will not be able to scuttle your boat anymore during a fight. You would have to be anchored in order to do that, and you also can't just demolish the deck on your ship either. Something that would always happen quite frequently in PvP ship battles, the losing player, when they got sunk, they would immediately start ripping their boat apart so that the opposing team couldn't loot their boat, right? So they'd start demolishing the decks and ripping the sails off and all that stuff. So they won't be able to do that now. Now, granted, they can probably still demolish their ammo box. I don't know how that's all going to work, but they won't at least be able to just rip the decks off and turn everything into a bag. The other thing he mentioned is that you'll be able to demolish the structures on the ship, such as cannons, and have a chance of actually getting that item in your inventory, which I think is awesome. I think that's something that Atlas should have had forever. You sink a boat, you dive the sunken boat, you should be able to recover the cannons, maybe the planks, maybe even the sails. So that's really cool that there's like a chance that you end up with those items in your inventory after sinking a ship. I think that's a huge thing that people are going to really like a lot. Unless you're on the losing side of that, of course.
For land content, we have hand edited all the claimable islands to make sure that no claimable island has a pillar for base spots. Every island has a very strong natural harbor, as well as the essential materials for a main base.
So that I'm a little bit mixed on. What he's saying is that every island will not have pillars, so like a really high up piece of land to build your base on. They're all going to be like kind of relatively flat, but they all will have a good natural harbor, so that's nice. But no pillars. So, you know, looking at this island, everything's pretty low terrain. I mean, I could see like a galleon coming through with like large cannons and being able to shoot like pretty much this entire island. So something to think about. I know they want to increase land PvP. They don't want people to just be sitting up on the top of their pillar, mortaring and never coming down to fight. So this is definitely going to change things by only having islands that are low terrain like this.
On top of that, every island has a suggested base spot to help with defenses in a more aggressive manner. You will see that many islands have different versions of this, and that is because we will be testing out this concept during the first season. Towards the end of the first season, we will see if we adjust or remove these. Enemies can no longer...
So some islands, or I guess all of the claimed islands, are going to have like pre-made suggested base locations, like this thing you're looking at. Now, looking at the one they just showed in the picture before this that looked super basic, this one looks way more elaborate, so I guess depending how big of a difference there are between the islands, I mean, you could end up with an island that has like nothing, or one that has like a fortress on it like this. So it'll be interesting to see how that's implemented.
Longer build on claimed islands without a fob. This makes you not have to spam your island, reducing lag and the need for tedious labor placing all these structures. Prefab Puckle Sticks have been added. These count as a single snap for your limit and are adjustable in height. The default height is equivalent to about 11 pillars high, the minimum to about 8 and the maximum to about 24 pillars.
These are pretty cool. I like this addition as well. They're pre-made puckle pillars. So you won't have to sit there and snap every single little stone pillar in order to make one of these columns. It's a pre-made structure that's already made. So that's a nice quality of life.
The Puckle Stick has a snap for puckles so that they can be placed from the bottom. Puckles no longer require NPCs to function, are placed preloaded, and can turn 360 degrees.
So he's saying the Puckles can be placed from the bottom, they don't require an NPC, and they've swiveled 360 degrees. I don't know how I feel about that. That's going to be interesting to see how that works. Puckles are going to be really strong on this.
A Puckle tool was added to allow for default Puckle settings to be set. Any Puckle placed automatically uses the default settings. Additionally, players can zoom in on their own Puckles with the tool and left-click to apply the default settings from a distance. Much like the Puckle Stick, we have also added a Prefab rake with adjustable height.
So they also have rakes that you can put out in the ocean to stop ships from coming into your harbor, and they're pre-made. That's nice too.
Mortar damage against tames and players has been massively reduced. Grape shot damage has been massively reduced as well. A fob system has been.
So he's saying that mortars and grape shot have both been greatly reduced against players and tames. So that'll be a big change for PvP. You won't be able to rely on mortars to defend your island against players and tames. And even grape shot with a swivel cannon says that it's been greatly reduced.
Fob markers are purchased from the freeport. They may be placed anywhere on an island, ignoring enemy foundations, only requiring a significant distance from the settlement flag. Once placed, they cannot be demolished by the owner, triggering a server notification and a log entry for the defender. The marker starts at 10,000 health and slowly heals up to the maximum of 1 million. After 30 minutes of the initial placement, it becomes active and the owner of the marker gains the ability to build in the area around the marker. When building within the marker, the attacker is not blocked by enemy foundations nearby. After 4 hours total, the marker self-destructs and deletes all structures of the attacking company in its range.
So that right there is a very interesting idea. So instead of having to put spam on your own island in order to prevent enemy building, the only way that a opposing team can build on your island now is with that fob structure. And he's saying you buy it at Freeport, you then go to your enemy island that you're going to attack, and you place that fob structure down. It counts up for a time, and once it's ready, then you can build on the opposing team's island, but only for 4 hours. And within that, after that 4 hours is done, the fob marker gets destroyed. All your structures get destroyed with it that you put on the opposing team's island. It's a very interesting idea. I like it because it will potentially really cut back on the spam, so you won't need to put fence posts all over your island. So that should help with lag. And it's just an interesting new way to do combat because you'll be able to, you're still alerting the enemy team that you're there on their island, but you're going to get like a small little plot of land to be able to put down a little fob and do a raid. So, interesting idea, and then it's cool that it self-destructs after 4 hours and all the structures that you put down to help with your raid go with it. So, very interesting idea. It'll be cool to see how that plays out.
Miscellaneous changes. Armored docks have been removed and custom harbor gates and walls have been added. All industrial content has been removed. Vision underwater has been improved to close the gap between I&I users and legit players a little bit. Sunken ship chests have been repositioned to the top of the ship in order to avoid them getting meshed. Sunken and flotsam loot consists of cooked food, hard songs, land structures and land defenses. Sunken and flotsam have a minimum quality to make all of them worth picking up.
So just to recap on that, he said no armored docks, so armored docks have been removed. You'll be able to use the ship walls and the gates. They made the underwater visuals clearer. So people shouldn't have to use like an INI file in order to see underwater. Yeah, and the flotsams and sunken treasures have been improved, and they moved the box for the sunken treasure to the top of the ship. So that's kind of cool. So you won't have to worry about sunken treasures being like meshed underground. All good quality of life things I'm seeing so far.
Sunken, flotsam, and Ship of the Damned are only present in farming grids to reduce lag and increase content. The treasure map loot table has been cleared of all trash loot and ship parts. Additionally, shipyards have a higher drop chance. builds spawn only on Lourdes Islands and on average give more blue and purple maps than before. Non-claimable islands have Tortuga, Orphaned and Razor spawns increased. Medkits have been fixed, they now cancel much less frequently, and large teams can receive heal from them.
So maps have been increased, more spawns for things like Tortugas, Olphins, and medkits have been corrected that you can heal your larger tames. That's nice.
For team sizes, we are likely looking at about 15 people per company and no alliance. But this is still subject to change.
So 15 player teams as of right now, no alliances, but he said that is subject to change. That's a pretty good number. I personally would like to see it a little higher, but it'll kind of depend on the population of the server as well.
Monetization of the server will be processed through Patreon and will be structured in the following way. Much like on other servers, there will be a monthly subscription to get access to all the skins native to the dev kit. The sum will be kept relatively low. The main focus, however, will be on custom skins of varying detail and pricing. These will be one-time purchases and remain accessible to you through any future New Atlas seasons as well. A couple of skins only available to early supporters will be revealed roughly a week before release. There are some small changes that did not fit into this video, and still more that may or may not make it into Season 1 of New Atlas, so stay tuned and feel free to ask any questions in our Discord server. Thank you all for your support, I hope to see you on our server.
So, New Atlas is the name of this, and again, as you can see, this is very much focused on PvP. I don't even know if they're going to have the PvE content, to be honest. I didn't really hear any mention of it, so it might be a way, set up so that you basically get all your discoveries and all that kind of stuff without having to do the PvE content. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how that works. But definitely built for PvP, as you can see. So if you're interested in this server, I'm going to link to their Discord in the description of this video. So feel free to head over and check it out. Again, this is New Atlas, and they are tentatively launching this server December 14th. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section. I'm really curious to hear what you all think about this new server. Be sure to follow the channel before you leave today, and thanks for watching.